Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of You Haven't Seen That Podcast, or YHST for short. I'm Isaac.
I'm Elva.
And this is a show where we cover movies on the growing list of films that has people asking us a question.
You haven't seen that?
Oh, caffeine. It runs through my blood. It's going to be an interesting one. Welcome to another edition of Intermission.
Intermissions.
Oh, we're not going to start repeating things at the same time. Hey, cut it out. Stop finishing my sandwiches. Damn it. Jinx. Double jinx. Jinx again. Who won that one?
You did.
All right, cool. I'll take the win.
I only said jinx at the end.
This is going to be a movie review and one trailer edition of the podcast. So what do you want to cover first? You want to cover reviews? You want to cover trailer?
Let's do the trailer at the end.
Trailer. Okay, so...
No, at the end.
Oh, at the end. I'm sorry. I got like super excited. Whoa. Okay. All right, what movie you want to cover first?
Let's do Bikeriders.
Yeah, so we saw two movies. We saw Bikeriders and we saw Maxxxine this past weekend, or whenever the hell this thing's dropping. Whatever, we saw it recently. Doesn't matter. We're in the future. Or we're in the past. Bikeriders.
Bikeriders, starring Austin Butler, Tom Hardy, and
Julie Comer? Jodie Comer.
Jodie Comer.
First thoughts on when you first seen the trailer. What were your expectations of this movie going in?
I thought it was going to be a bit of a fast pace, maybe quick. I wasn't expecting to be much of a...
kind of like a mockumentary?
Yeah,
not mockumentary, but in the form of a documentary.
No, I thought it was going to be more kind of like movie-based, because I didn't really know much. I didn't know that it was actually like based off a book.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
So I was just like, oh, they're making a movie about bike riders. Yeah. Let's go watch it because Tom Hardy, that was the first one that got my attention. And then I was like, okay, I guess Austin Butler can also get my attention.
When doesn't he get your attention? Boy, oh boy. Hurry up and get to him.
So I was expecting kind of like more serious Grease, but like on motorcycles.
More serious Grease?
Yeah, a little bit. Because it didn't have any comedic beats in the trailer.
Yeah, I think I personally was expecting like a kind of a Sons of Anarchy feel to it. But it didn't, which was great. Sons of Anarchy. Yeah. Tations.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. So wasn't really expecting much. I was just interested in it just because the trailer kind of did give me like, oh, let me see. It's something different than what's been usually being like put out and stuff like that. And I think it was one of the trailers, very few trailers that we actually got to the movies in and saw, because we usually we're never
Oh yeah, we never mentioned that, huh?
We don't go to the movies on time.
Intentionally.
Yeah. We make it maybe a trailer or two before the movie starts,
and
that.
And my own reason, I don't know if you share the reason, but like the reason why I like to not go and see the trailers is we go to the movies so often, we're seeing the same trailers over and over again. Yeah. So we time it and we make it just in time for the movie.
It kind of takes away from also me viewing those trailers often.
Oh, the ones that you don't want to see.
Yeah.
Like Beetlejuice, any Star Warses.
Yes, Star Warses.
So getting back to the Bikeriders. So you saw the movie. What did you think about it?
I thought it was really good. Yeah. Storytelling was good. There was
saying that it was good is such an understatement. The storytelling itself.
It was really good. It was great.
Yeah. Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
There was a moment where I did lose a little interest, but really? I think that was just me. Okay. I think that's just because ADHD brain.
No, I did look over and it was any scene that there wasn't Austin Butler or Tom Hardy. You were like, meh, scene sucks.
No, I think I just kind of I got distracted. I think some people were like coming in and out from the concessions, so they're kind of distracting me, which made me kind of lose focus. And I decided to kind of look around instead of watch the movie. But it wasn't that bad to where I checked out. I don't want to watch the movie anymore. I just jumped back in.
I personally wasn't checked out at all. Geez, I mean, there's really no spoilers or anything like that. You're going back to the trailer thing. It did set it up as this one movie, and that's just a construction of the trailer to get people to see the movie. The whole purpose of a trailer, without them actually spoiling anything or telling the whole story, that kind of thing. We did see it with your dad. When I asked him, he's like, "Oh, I thought it was going to be more action," and I was like, I was actually happy that it wasn't that type of movie. In fact, this movie, it was refreshing, and it kind of brought back the, hard air quotes, old school movie making, where they're not relying on the laurels of a high action packed scene or sequences or anything like that. There's no hardcore sex scene. It's like, no, we're just going to focus on the characters, the dimensions of the characters, the construction of the storytelling, symbolism in some of the scenes. And I was like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Movies are back again.
Yeah. Every character had showed a little bit of their personality.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I fell in love with the MC, the Vandals, the whole group. There was so many actors in there. To name a few, there's like Michael Shannon, Norman Reedus. Those are the ones that I got at the top of my head. There was even some like no-name ones whom at the end of the movie I was like, hey man, I really like that guy Cockroach. You know?
Yeah.
Poor Brucey kind of thing.
Yeah. I like Corky.
Corky, there you go. That's one I was trying to remember. From the trailer, I remember thinking, oh God, Tom Hardy's doing another weird voice. And then you watch the movie and you go, oh, duh, it's set in Chicago. So everybody, he actually doesn't have that bad of an accent compared to, was it Judy Comer?
Yeah.
Which I like the way that they used her to sort of set the tone. And the way they constructed told the whole story in a sort of interviewee fashion, cutting in, being interviewed by the guy who actually wrote the book and everything, and then actually playing the story out. And so they use that in the beginning of the first act to kind of like build this like, oh, the good old times, you know, romanticizing the good old times. They did a good job of cutting back using her when certain scenes got really serious. So they were very thoughtful in the construction of the whole movie.
Yeah. Also, this was like all based way before any motorcycle club would do drugs, prostitution, all that stuff. So it's like clean, just we're a group of guys who got into motorcycles, whether it be racing them in the back, in the dirt or whatever, just fun.
Just good old boys being good old boys, finding something to do. Everyone wants a purpose. They have a shared purpose. And, you know, without there being gang relations and stuff like that. And that was another thing of the movie that the trailer kind of misled me, happily though, misled me, where I thought, oh boy, you're going to see these characters start going down that drug and gang violence road. And even as the actual movie played out, it did a good job of like tricking me thinking, oh, these particular characters are on the fence. And are they going to sway to the good side or the dark side?
Oh, yeah. I had the same thing.
And they maintain their integrity. So I love that. They didn't cheat they're based on real people. So, you know, they didn't have much creative differences, creative liberties. Sorry. And a lot of the characters maintain their integrity. And I was so happy that they didn't cheapen any of that. And I'm so happy that because it's based on a true story, I always hate when these types of movies have characters that are based on real people, and then they give them some like overly poetic dialogue that you go, nobody talks like that. And I like that they kept it simple and they didn't have those long bits of dialogue.
Yeah.
So much of all of the actors' performances were based on their actual like physical acting. Speaking of physical acting, can we talk about Austin Butler?
Okay.
What a gorgeous son of a bitch.
Yeah. Like the hair.
Oof. His actual intro in the movie.
You can tell he was kind of like a secretly small comedic beats in there.
Yeah.
But not enough to change the whole movie.
100%. Yeah.
Just a little, it goes back to showing the character's personality.
Yeah.
The same thing with Tom Hardy. Like how he carried himself and stuff like that. It was also, his character had its own personality based off whoever that person was based on. So I felt like it did a really good job at portraying those characters.
Oh, absolutely. So obviously we suggest that you check this movie out in theaters if you can. It's one of those movies that you need to sit down and actually experience it all the way through.
Yeah.
But because it's not like fully action packed and not really heavy on the sound design, I don't think that you have to go see it in IMAX or Dolby or anything like that.
It's not showing in IMAX or Dolby.
Well, then there you go. So you can't go fucking see it in IMAX or Dolby. So see Bikeriders. I give that movie high praise. I'm so glad we almost didn't see it because we've been busy with absolutely everything else that we almost missed that one. And then, you know, much to your chagrin, you're like, oh, I want to see it. And I was like, all right, let's literally fit it into our schedule. We did. And I'm so fucking happy that we did.
It was one of those movies that I wasn't going to budge on.
No, I love it.
It's on my must.
And on our shared must see next on the list,
Maxxxine. And that is starring Mia Goth. What did you think of Maxxxine? Because I know this was more
up my wheelhouse. You didn't get to see Pearl, huh?
No, I got to see all of them. Yeah. No, I got to see X and Pearl. So.
Oh, we did see it together. I took Marlene to go see it, and then you're like, well, who didn't see it? And I was like, all right. So I saw it twice.
I remember you went to go see Pearl with Pearl.
Pearlception.
You took me to go see Pearl after.
Yeah.
And then X we went to go see together, and we took Marlene with us.
That's right. I think this was one of the movies that even though we did see the trailer, I know we talked about a trailer, one of the trailers on a recent intermission. I think I only seen it like the trailer once or twice. And so I, in a sense, kind of sort of went into it blind. After seeing this movie, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. I wouldn't hold it up at the top of the list of the three movies, X and Pearl, and then now Maxxxine. I think it is a very good movie. I think that it did what the other ones did, which is like had its specific style, you know, so the other ones kind of separated itself, even though they have like the same characters involved in it. But there are certain parts about it where I found was really cool because it paid homage. It was kind of like a love letter to 80s horror because it was set in 1985, as we mentioned before in the past episode, where it's during the Night Stalker.
Yeah.
And that played a part. But ultimately, I feel like all of the other characters involved, the detectives, her friends, even the villain, so I'll just leave it at that, even the villain, I'm not going to spoil anything, were very two-dimensional. And,
yeah.
And then when it came to her, Mia Goth, as Maxxxine, my God, she didn't have a lot of dialogue in that movie, but boy, oh boy, was her, again, going back to what I said before, like with Bikeriders, physical acting. Her physical acting was fucking awesome. This movie would be completely shitty if it wasn't for her.
Oh, definitely. Because I think that Maxxxine wasn't supposed to be Maxxxine and supporting cast. I think it was supposed to be Maxxxine and the day in the life of Maxxxine, and then characters would come in. That's why they were so two-dimensional. They weren't supposed to be there that long in her life because of those events that happened throughout the whole movie.
For sure. I feel that. But it's the one person that did stand out whom I think, man, they're like neck and neck with Maxxxine. It's Kevin Bacon as the Private Eye.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the man of the 80s, made infamous in the 80s, playing this Ausse, very southern character, a bad guy, so to speak. Loved it. I mean, I ate that shit up. Any scene with the both of them in it was a fantastic scene. So, would you suggest people check this movie out?
Definitely.
Would you recommend it?
Definitely. We're in that summerween, so it's starting to incorporate horror movies, especially with Long Legs coming out July 12th. So we're getting a little bit of horror movies introduced to make us survive till October for that Halloween month.
That's true. To survive. I would recommend people who are fans of this trilogy to absolutely check it out. If you haven't seen the other two, I don't think you should rush and go check it out. I think you'll be a little bit lost because of certain people's motivations. Her motivation, the depth of her character.
Yes, but I also feel like within the movie, it gives you enough that you don't really need to question much of it.
Okay.
So if you haven't seen the other two, you can go ahead and see it because it does give you enough
little backstory,
little backstories
little
flashbacks to kind of be like, okay.
And I think I forgot to mention, just it being set in the 80s is so fucking cool. The soundtrack and the feel of Hollywood in the 80s and I know I overuse this word, but like the grit and dinginess of it, it's fun. The cocaine.
The music was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you would see, but my feet were like always tapping.
I think I felt it.
Yeah. That's
I didn't mind it.
Yeah.
I think, no, there were some scenes that you and I were like dancing along. I think people were looking at it. Yeah, we're that couple.
We did laugh at a scene where we weren't supposed to really laugh at, but
it fucking kill scene.
No, it was towards the end, but it was enough to where everyone gasped and we were laughing.
I don't recall that because I was enjoying whatever fucking scene that was.
No, because I remember I came out of that little moment where and I was like, Everyone's kind of like the people next to me kind of like looked at me and I'm just like, you don't get it.
Oh, man. So, yeah, check out Maxxxine. And then last on the list is a trailer. And to set this up, for those of you who don't know, haven't listened in other previous episodes, and the algorithm just dropped this episode on you, and you're like, what is this shit? Me and Alva are F1 fans, Formula One racing. So that's like the only motorsport that we really are into, thanks to you and your ADHD hyperfixation.
And it's stuck.
Yeah. And then a little backstory too is like, I was like, okay, this is one of your many hyperfixations, and you'll, talk my ear off about things like, oh, darling, cool, darling. And you're like, hey, I'm going to one morning, one Saturday or Sunday morning, you're like, I'm going to watch the race. And I go, sure thing, darling. And I like sat on the couch and was going to start up the Nintendo Switch. And I never got off of like the home screen because I kept going, I keep hearing like, and I'm like, whoa, who's that? What's happening? Whoa.
Why is our flag?
Holy shit, dude. And I was locked in. That was the second half of.
I remember, no, you went from like maybe 10 minutes in, but I remember exactly which one. It was the Miami Grand Prix.
But that was the second half of the last season? Roughly, right? A little past past half of it.
No. A little before. So it was towards the beginning.
Nice.
Yeah.
Man, it was so much fun. So, all to say that we fucking love F1.
Yes.
We love everyone's backstories. We have our favorite racers. We have the races that we don't like. George Russell. And
we also have our favorite teams and everything. But if it wasn't for me getting the time wrong, what time the race started this past weekend, I probably would have found out about that trailer way later on.
Oh my God. Okay. So we're watching it in bed on her laptop, and like it's in Europe, right? Specifically, this one was a British GP. And we're like, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. We thought it was 6 o'clock. So it's wait until 7. We're falling asleep in between these, during the laps and stuff like that. I think even before the race started, right?
It was a pre-show to everything.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry. And as we're falling asleep, just dozing off here and there, I know what a trailer looks like when it starts up, and I'm like, Elva, they're going to fucking show the F1 trailer. And that's the movie trailer that we want to talk about.
The F1 movie starring Brad Pitt, which is kind of funny because Dax Shepard got Brad Pitt into F1.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
And from there on,
is Dax Shepard still doing the F1?
No.
Damn it, that was a good podcast.
I don't know what happened with that one. But I guess from there, Brad Pitt got the idea to do this movie. And it is this teaser trailer from what I've seen, from what I've also seen, Lewis Hamilton, which is also a driver, which he is producing and putting some money into it.
Put some respect in his name. Who's he drive for right now?
Mercedes.
And who's he going to drive for?
Ferrari.
And what did he just win recently?
The British Grand Prix. From his interview with, was it Hot Ones? With Sean Evans, he did say that this movie is going to be very much like a racing movie. Like the speed is going to get captured. Everything is going to get captured. And I do follow a lot of the pages, a lot of the drivers on social media. And sometimes you'll see them post like little behind the scenes. And last season, you did see a lot of Brad Pitt walking around the paddock, walking around doing mock interviews.
Yeah.
At the same time, so you can kind of tell that all these drivers are in the back as he's doing the interviews. And so it's going to be capturing the wins. It's going to be capturing the losses. It's going to be capturing every emotion and stuff like that. And I'm just excited because that scene where it's just, Brad Pitt and he's driving, and it's just like if you watch F1 and you see a cockpit camera go on the driver, it's exactly like that. So I kind of already like that, how they captured that.
I saw on one of someone's post, whatever, multiple F1 Formula One Instagrams that we follow, that it looks like they're digitally replacing. I think it's one of the Alpine cars with Brad Pitt's car, or whatever the fictitious team. It is a side by side, and it's from the view of an Alpine car.
Okay, so there is this there's this one driver who got kicked off last season, like mid-season. And this fake team says goodbye to this driver in the movie. So I'm just like, this is going to be very interesting to see how that plays, because then that means it's actually going from the 2023 season.
Oh, shit. Do you think they're actually going to integrate?
Well, because last year at Silverstone, they filmed a lot of that stuff there. That was a big thing that they were doing. And they don't mention anything else of filming. Every once in a while, you'll see Brad Pitt in the paddock or walking along.
Which is fucking hilarious to see.
But like the times last season or even this season when you would see Brad Pitt walking, he was like in regular clothes. There's no cameras around. He was there as a guest. So now I'm kind of wondering like what behind the scenes that the cameras didn't show is actually of him doing actual stuff.
There's only one way to find out. So watch the movie when it comes out in
June 27th of 2025.
God damn.
Which will be the same weekend as the Austrian Grand Prix.
Sick.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Front row tickets. Or not front row tickets.
Front row. We're going to see IMAX.
We're just completely surrounded by a giant screen.
We are seeing this in IMAX.
By then, will we have already bought our own race suits?
No.
You're fucking no fun.
But I will have some merch.
To sell. Yeah, down at the local AMC.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. There's the two movies that we saw. So just to run it down, Bikeriders, go see it. Fantastic movie, great storytelling. Maxxxine, my personal recommendation. If you've seen the other two movies, definitely check this out. Per Alva's recommendation, there's enough in it that you can enjoy it, even like as a movie lover and a lover of the 80s and horror slashers and stuff like that. And the recent trailer for F1 dropped. It looks amazing. It's locking in that speed, starring Brad fucking Pitt.
Brad Pitt.
And, integrated with the actual events of the current season, 2024 season. So, 2023 season, sorry. I have no research in front of me. I'm all basing this on you. So those are our three things. Thank you for listening to another episode of Intermissions. Anything else, darling, as we wrap up?
Nope.
In the meantime, let us know what you thought about these respective movies and about the trailer. And if you like F1, I know one of our listeners likes F1. So, Chris, shout out to you, man. Yeah, so you can reach out to us in the comment section, in the DMs at Forehead Films, FOREHED Films on Instagram and TikTok. And check out the rest of our episodes where we actually cover movies, we break them down anywhere podcasts are found, and on YouTube at YHST Pod.
Yes.
Anything else, darling?
No.
Till next time, let us know what movies you have in your growing list of films that has people asking you the question.
You haven't seen that?
Later.
Okay, bye.